Hey, let's talk fasting and menopause today. It's Denise Wellick-Peterson on your Lunchtime Live. So, first of all, did you hear fasting and go, oh, hell no? Did you hear fasting and go, nope, nothing I'm going to do, Denise? Did you hear fasting and go, hey, wait a minute. You're always talking about not raising my stress level, and just thinking about it's raising my stress level. I get it. I was the same way too. But what if I told you that when you use your cycle, you can increase the rate of fat loss? And yes, even if you are postmenopausal, no longer having a period, you still have a hormone cycle. So let's use it. Let's use it to our advantage to get the things that we want, like a no menobelly, right? Okay, so first of all, if you're going to use fasting to help with menobelly during perimenopause or menopause or postmenopause, you need to use your cycle, right? So the other day we talked about carb cycling during days 1 to 14. Fasting happens days 15 to 28. Don't worry, not all of them. Days 15 to 28, right? So sure, it's going to take a little bit of tracking, but you can do it. You've been tracking it forever, right? Let's see. The point is not to raise our cortisol, so keep listening, okay? So first of all, I'm talking about 1 day per week, the week of between days 15 and 22, and then 1 day between the days of 23 and 28, right? So 1 day each of those 2 weeks, right? Secondly, I want you to prepare for those days. Don't just wake up and realize at noon you haven't eaten, so that's your fasting day. That's a good way to raise your cortisol, right? What you want to do is plan it so that the day before and a little bit even the night before. So let's say you're going to fast on Wednesday. Monday night and all day Tuesday, you're going to double down on your protein so that your body has some energy to work with on the day that you fast. So that's one way to help keep your cortisol levels in check when you're fasting. Also, the day after, so Thursday, if you're fasting on Wednesday, Thursday, you're also doubling down on the protein to help build your stores back up, right? Now, why do we fast on days 15 to 28? Because during those days, your body is preferentially using fat. It wants to use fat. So why fast? Get the carbs out of your system, get the stuff out of your system so that we can burn the stored fat that we have, right? Use your cycle. Use it. If you try to fast on days 1 to 14, your body isn't really wanting to pull from the fat stores, so it's not going to be as effective. Let's do this when it's most effective. Oh, I jumped around. I'm sorry. So next, you've protein loaded before and after. On the day of your fast, you still need to get about 500 easily digestible calories. You want to space those calories throughout the day, and you want to make sure that you're getting nutrients, but we don't want to be adding a ton of carbs because then your body flips over. It's going to use carbs first, right? It's easy to use carbs. We want it to flip into using our stored fat. Things that you might have during your fasting day might be a low fiber protein shake, might be bone broth or leek soup, might be a baked apple, not a raw apple, because a baked apple is going to be more easily digestible. It's already broken down, right? So you might want to use a baked apple or some very highly baked vegetables so that we're getting nutrients but not a lot of the fiber. The fiber is broken down, right? The other things you might want to consider, don't pick a fasting day and then also do a huge big workout. First of all, during that half of your cycle, your body doesn't really want to support a big, heavy, strong workout. But secondly, let's be kind here. You're not putting in a ton of calories. Don't go doing a big cardio workout. Don't be going doing a strength workout, right? Also, for some people, especially the first few times they try it, they're already thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be starving. Don't want to, whatever. So don't plan it on a day where you have $1 million presentation, right? I mean, let's be smart about it. And then finally, the thing I really want to hit on is we have to use your cycle. Use your hormone cycle. The more you use your cycle and support your hormone cycle by carb cycling when it's appropriate, using the seed cycling, using warming and cooling foods, exercising the way your body wants to exercise during each half of your cycle, the more you're going to impress upon your body what half of the cycle is. So if you are postmenopausal and no longer bleeding, I want you to think about college girls, right? When the girls' dorm fills up in August, periods are all over the place, everybody's bleeding at a different time. But by May, pretty near the whole floor is bleeding at the same time, right? That just lets us know or reminds us that hormones are impressionable. So when you support estrogen or you support progesterone during the phase of the cycle that you are in, your body goes, oh, I understand now. This is what I'm preparing for. This is what I'm using. And it works well into postmenopause, right? So just because in your 20s your cycles are like this doesn't mean you don't have cycles. You have hormone cycles, they just don't fluctuate as wildly. So when you really take the time to track and to do all of the different steps that I teach my clients to do, you can support that cycle and have a healthy older age, right? You can have healthy 50, 60, 70, 90-year-olds, right? Because you're supporting your cycle and working with your body. These are some of the things I teach my one-on-one clients. Seed cycling, warming and cooling foods, when to fast, when to carb cycle, when to exercise heavy, when to exercise not so heavy. These are all things that play into it. Now, next thing you might want to consider, I am doing a protein challenge, 5 days free next week, Monday through Friday, because as I've been discussing, protein is super duper important to support your hormones. As a group, menopausal and postmenopausal women are scientifically proven to need more protein than almost any other age group. You need to be getting a minimum of 100 grams a day. So we're going to explore that next week during the free challenge. We're going to explore where you're at and how to get you closer to 100 grams. I'll drop it in the link, but go ahead and go to my website, nowgetgoing.com, and sign up for that free protein challenge. Finally, Friday, Lunchtime Live, we're going to be talking about protein pacing because, yeah, it's important. You probably don't want to just skip protein all day so you can have the 32-ounce ribeye at the end of the day. We'll talk more on Friday. Have a good one.